Do you ever notice how hard it is to start building something different from everyone around you? That could be sharing your voice online for the first time, starting a business or a creative project that you've been stalling on for years, or leading a community movement around something you're passionate about. In the country that I was born and raised, we've got this undercurrent of this thing called tall poppy syndrome. See, when you're the underdog, everyone loves to root for you, whether you're a sports team, politician, or you're the David in the Goliath battle. But as soon as you start doing the same, if not better than other people, well, that's when the snide remarks, the indirect digs, or the keyboard warriors come out of the shadows and start trying to cut you down.
Everybody, when I was sleeping on the gym floor, right? Like, I was the underdog, and everyone, my clients were all like, "Oh, good for you. You're going after your dream." They'd see my blanket and my pillow in the corner of the gym, and they knew I was sleeping there. And everybody was like pro me. And then people would come in, they sign up like, I'm gonna support you, right? And then within 9 months, I had hired people and I had a manager, and I pulled up, and I remember I walked in the lobby, and all the same people were like, boss man's here. Oh, you're not too good for us now, right? And I remember being so jarred by the experience, and I was like, you guys rooted for me. And I was like, and now I did what you said you were rooting for me to do. And that was when I realized that people want you to do well, but not better than them.
That's why I will be there front and center for you or anybody in my life that is not only going through that takeoff phase, but also finds themselves in that lonely chapter where the success they're going through may alienate them from their former groups. And so in this video, I want to spotlight someone that didn't just dream it, but they backed it up and they turned it into a reality. Because I want this to serve as validation, a blueprint, or an affirmation that no matter where you're at in your takeoff journey right now, enough persistence and courage will get you there. It just may mean in this season, you need to be more selective about whose energy and whose presence and time you allow in. So here's the story. Last weekend, I was standing in the back of an abandoned factory in Brisbane, grinning like a proud uncle. I was experiencing a full circle moment. From 2 years ago, first hearing about this dream, to seeing it offline in the real world come to fruition was actually quite inspiring. There were hundreds of creatives, cameras ready to go, high energy, good music, models and mentors, all in this one place. And there was one man, one brand, and one dream that was the center of it all. This was James Rush. Now, James Rush and we met about 2 years ago to this day. I first connected with him over Instagram. I ran an Instagram live with Tom Nosk and his fellow Australian creators who are all trying to stick our neck out and all trying to overcome the gravity of tall poppy syndrome. And very kindly, James reached out to me straight after this live stream and shared some beautiful thoughts on how the discussion, the interview went, and we just started chatting back and forth from there. We bonded instantly. We shared a lot about what our careers were up until this point, and that's when I came to learn that James had already a very prolific career and personal brand on his creative videography agency. Just to name drop and put a few props his way, James in his career has crossed over with the late and great Kobe Bryant, Nipsey Hussle, Kendrick Lamar, Kim Kardashian, Ruby Rose, Patty Mills, to name a few. So a lot of sports stars and a lot of hip hop legends. But he started his humble roots as a radio show host in Canberra, Australia's capital city. What lit him up though wasn't just the celebrity work and wasn't being able to flex all of these. In fact, he's often quite humble, and it takes quite a bit to dig out some of these stars that he's crossed over in his career. What I was actually hearing more and more of the last few years of us DMing back and forth was that he was really inspired to help empower creatives that were a few steps behind him, helping the younger version of himself with everything he'd learned through all of his battle scars and his hard-earned lessons to help them achieve breakthroughs in their careers similar to the ones that he had in his own. And the vision, the big dream that he wanted, was to build a community, one that would have mentorship, guidance, connection around helping those build their creative career. There was nothing like that in Australia at the time. I think this was a case of James looking around and realizing that if you can't find it, you've got to go build it. And so he did. And what I saw last weekend was the result of that vision come into full motion. A sold out crowd, hundreds of creators and their cameras, dozens of models and mentors that were managing a full day sports photography workshop. I'm talking DJs, I'm talking coffee, I'm talking hip hop culture, cars that bounced, every single camera under the sun, whether you're shooting on film, iPhone, digital camera. It was such a welcoming, warm, and collaborative experience, something that stood completely contrary to a culture of tall poppy syndrome and people looking out for themselves, or the keeping up with the Joneses mentality. This all falls under his community brand called One Shot, a nationwide movement of meetups, workshops, and online programs for creatives that James built from scratch. It's basically what he wishes he had earlier in his own career. And just sharing from here, I think one of the most inspiring things that he said is he's found a rhythm or a groove that is true to him. The way that he's able to deliver his online and offline presence and supporting others across the country and soon internationally, so watch this space. To him, he described it as feeling like 20 years of experience all coming together into something that is a natural and authentic expression of who he is. And the wildest part of it all, he went full time with One Shot in just 3 months. It's like as if all the ingredients were there in his life, the demand and the appetite for it was there, and it was just time for him to step up as a leader, to activate, and to launch it to the world. And the response was overwhelming. He didn't do it with any algorithms, he didn't do any hacks or gimmicks or no outsourced agency. All he needed was just some guidance and some support from others to help him connect his own dots. And it was so beautiful to hear him say, in the words, "My brand has exploded. I'm doing a lot online and events now. A huge part has come from Time to Build, helping me get to the next stage. Thanks again for all your help, bro." If you haven't seen an earlier video, I'm currently a 2IC of a program called Time to Build with Tom Nosk, the one that I ran a live stream with just 2 years ago. And these are one of the many examples of the creators and the professionals that we help turn their authority and their lived experience into cohort and community experiences, just like what James has pulled together. He's running workshops like this a few times per month. And when I caught up with him on the weekend, he shared that he's in talks of bringing this one internationally because it sounds like he's not slowing down anytime soon. If something about James's story lit up something inside of you, you resonated with being someone that feels stuck in your environment, not having those around you who can support, well, I've got some good news for you, my friend. There's nothing that fulfills and inspires me more than seeing people like James, than seeing people like you take that idea and turn it into a reality. Now, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There's a lot of energy needed in liftoff, but it's made harder if you feel like there's the weight and the gravity of an environment around you that doesn't support you. Now, at the time of recording this video, I'm gonna start opening up and working one-on-one with founders just like you to have the same kind of trajectory that James had. So whether it's a cohort, a community, or a hybrid-based offer, and you wanna build it, launch it, or scale it without burning out or feeling like you're selling your soul, then I would absolutely love to work with you. I've included a couple of links in the description below. Depending on the time you're watching, it may be a wait list or it may be a link directly to work with me. And all that I'm looking for is those that value depth over hype. Those that want to build movements and not just a copy and paste funnel. And those that don't want to be told what to do, but just a process to make it finally click, just like it did for James. So if you've got the vision, the experience, and the hunger to make this happen, check out the links in the description for your next best steps. I look forward to hearing from you. Or if you're leaning more towards a cohort-based offer, head to this video where I break down the exact process Tom Nosk and I use to run his 7-figure online education program, Time to Build. I don't hold anything back. It's what we've learned after 10 cohorts and over 800 students. So I hope it serves you, and I'll catch you there.